Here at home, Alberta's police watchdog is promising an investigation after two officers in Lethbridge admitted to surveilling a former cabinet minister. The officers were recently demoted for using their positions for, quote, personal advantage. Laura McQuillan is on this story for us. Laura, tell us more about this case.
There's so many details here, Jennifer, so bear with me. But as you mentioned, their watchdog investigating this now. There is the possibility of criminal charges after these officers admitted during a disciplinary process that they had surveilled NDP MLA Shannon Phillips when she was the Minister for the Environment back in 2017. Now, this arose from a chance encounter. The two officers were at a diner where Phillips was meeting with community members about some protections for the castle area in Alberta, southwest Alberta, which the NDP was proposing. Those would ban vehicles from off-roading in that area, and both officers were involved in off-roading, so they're quite interested in this. They took photos during the meeting, and we can show you some of the other details of what unfolded under what has been called this surveillance. So after those photos were taken, then as they left the meeting, one officer told the other that he would hate to have to stop Phillips as she drove away from the meeting. After that, that same officer staked out the diner, actually followed one of the participants of that meeting, and then ran their license plate through police software before sending a screenshot of the results of that to his colleague. Now, the same officer had posted a photo of Phillips at the meeting on Facebook, criticising her government, also identifying participants of that meeting, and it's that post which Phillips then saw that led to her complaint to police, an investigation, and this disciplinary process. So both of these officers have admitted numerous counts of misconduct over what unfolded here. They've both been temporarily demoted, and as we're talking about now, the watchdog investigating to see whether charges need to follow.
And so what kind of reaction are you seeing out there to this, Laura?
Well, on Phillips' part, there is shock, because while she knew about the photo taken of her, posted on Facebook, she had no idea that there had been this other surveillance aspect with a license plate of someone run through police software. And she gave a press conference on this last night. She only found out about this at the weekend, and she says she's appalled by what has happened.
That's scary. And it's hard for me to feel safe in my own home because of this. Folks, we live in a democracy, and it is terrifying that law enforcement would abuse their power and contravene my rights in this way. Using police power to stalk and intimidate a minister is the stuff of police states. No matter what your political views, we cannot stand for this.
Now, she is calling for an out-of-province investigator to take a closer look at what's happened here, separate to that watchdog investigation. At the same time, Alberta's current government says it had no idea about this either until just yesterday. The Justice Minister in the province saying that he has told his department to arrange an out-of-province prosecutor to help the watchdog if it needs any legal advice, such as on laying charges. And we saw reaction to all of this from Premier Jason Kenney on Twitter last night, tweeting that the conduct by these officers was completely unacceptable. He called it deeply disturbing that officers would use their powers as police for private purposes in unauthorised surveillance of an elected official. They say that he says he's appalled that Phillips was subjected to this. Now, there are multiple police forces involved in this, in both Lethbridge, where the officers are from, and also two police forces that have helped investigate. None of them, however, have responded to our queries, Jennifer.
All right, thanks for this, Laura.